Everyone, I'm back. I'm Ashley, and today's message is if you are, if you want vengeance, if you're feeling wrathful, if you want revenge, things of that nature. I know this is for somebody. Whoever needs to hear it, I hope you hear it. This is for you. So, firstly, we have to talk about vengeance and wrath. And the thing is with vengeance, something that's important to remember is that it belongs to Yah. It belongs to Elohim. And it says that in Psalm 94, verse 1, and Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 35. Literally, all vengeance, it belongs to him. We can't do revenge the way that he does revenge. We don't have the faculties. We do not have the power. We do not have the wisdom. We do not have the understanding to engage in getting even or in seeking revenge. That is why we need to leave that to Elohim. And something that's really important to do as a believer is to separate your job versus his job, because you don't want to be doing his job because you can't do his job. You're flesh. You're small. You're very small. No matter how much you have in this world, no matter how much knowledge, wisdom, whatever have you, no matter how much you're given, and how many liberties you might take, you can't do what he does, period. That's it. So revenge is one of those things, as a believer, stay away from at all costs. Don't ever try to get even with somebody, don't go down that path, because you are literally, there's a saying, I don't even think, was this even in the Bible? I know I've heard the saying somewhere where, you're digging a grave not only for yourself. If you're digging a grave for, you might be digging a grave for the other person, but you're also digging a grave for yourself. Because in that moment, when you are engaged in revenge and seeking vengeance, in a way, you're trying to assume the role of Elohim. And that's heavy. That's something that no one should ever try to do. We need to stay in our lane. We're just people. We're just human beings. We're made in his reflection, but ultimately we are not him. So don't seek revenge. Don't look for it. It belongs to Yah. And Revenge and vengeance. It actually comes from wrath. A lot of wrath and anger. And the thing is with wrath and anger, we'll get angry at times, especially with unrighteousness going on, or it might grieve the spirit, it might grieve our souls when we see certain things happen. But the thing is with wrath and anger, you can't let them lead you. You can't let your feelings lead you. And with vengeance, a lot of times it comes from wrath. And the thing is, it all starts up here. Wrath, anger, anxiety, jealousy, all these things, they start in your mind. That's why it's so important. You need to constantly cast down imaginations that exalt themselves against the knowledge, against the wisdom of Elohim. You can't have those thoughts in your head. And we have to bring them into captivity of Christ, of HaMashiach. We have to bring them, we have to rebuke them. Sometimes it could be something demonic trying to influence you. And the thing is with a lot of these thoughts, they're just your thoughts until they come out, because it's what comes out of a man that taints him. And if you choose to act on thoughts of wrath, there's a spirit, it's going to be, it's going to work through you. And that's not the Holy Spirit. The fruits of the Spirit, it's not wrath, it's not anger. They're peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control. Did I forget a few? I'm going to put the verse up here somewhere so y'all can see it. Yeah, so we need to be working from the Holy Spirit, because if you're not working from the Holy Spirit, you're working from the enemy. So that's the thing with wrath and anger. We have to really control these things, control these emotions, and we have to be able to process them and let it go. Let them go. We have to let go and let Elohim do what he's going to do. So, see, that's one point. And the thing is with wrath and anger, what I found in my experience, because I've had trouble with this, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, full disclosure, this is something that I've struggled with myself, and at times still do, and I have to go in prayer about it, because you don't, evil thoughts, because he also knows our thoughts as well too. You really don't want to entertain those, because at some point, if you entertain them long enough, you know, you may end up acting on them. And when you act on thoughts like that, you end up sinning. And when you sin, you know, the wages of sin are death. You die. And it might not just bring on your death literally, like in the physical sense, but also it'll bring on spiritual death as well too. You'll be separating yourself from Elohim whenever you're acting on. If you guys hear loud noise, I think there's like a gardener or something. Yeah, like landscapers out there mowing the lawn or something. Yeah. So what's it? What was I saying? Right. Yeah. The wages of sin are death. When you act on these thoughts, when you act on these impulses, these things, you know, you're killing yourself spiritually. So yeah, it's important to keep those things in check. And the thing with wrath and anger, in my experience, what I found is that a lot of the time it can act as a blanket. Hold on, y'all. Okay, it should be a little bit better. What's it? Yes. So wrath and anger, they can act as a blanket to other things that we're feeling. So when something happens, or if you're triggered and you just feel angry, a lot of the times it'll be really wise for you to just go forward and uncover that anger. Like, what are you feeling underneath it? You know, and many times anger is a mask for hurt. It could be a mask for, you know, you desire justice, you know, like you feel wrong. It can be a mask for sadness. People get angry because they're sad, you know, they're very hurt. Or with jealousy, you know, feeling wrong, like all that stuff. So anger can be a massive blanket over other feelings that you have, and it's really important to sit down. Don't act on anger, because most of the time you're gonna regret it. If you're just coming out of the gate angry, you're clapping back, you're saying the first thing that comes to your mind. And it's important for us to sit down, to take time and to process what we're actually feeling and to understand it. So yeah, that's point number 2. And from that as well too, wrath is something that births vengeance, like murder, a host of other things. And the things with wrath, this was in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29 to 31. And we're supposed to cast off anger. We're supposed to cast off wrath. All these things, we're not supposed to be found with them spiritually. And we're not supposed to be walking with these things as, you know, we're supposed to be the people of the Most High. We're supposed to be the church. You can't be found with anger and wrath on your spirit and in your heart. So it's really important to pray, really important to seek wisdom regarding dealing with these things, and also to asking for the strength to forgive, asking for an understanding of forgiveness and what it would mean to forgive whoever wronged you, asking what it would mean to just walk in that type of spirit, just walking in forgiveness in general, whether someone does something little to you or if they wrong you in a really big way. It's really important to be able to forgive and really use that in whatever circumstances, because in this walk there are a lot of people, you know, they'll wrong you. People say all types of things about you just because of what you believe in, just because you believe in the gospel. And we're already in dark times. We're already in these times where evil is taken for good, good is taken for evil, and it could cost someone a lot to speak out for the truth. And after all that is finished, you have to be able to forgive that person or a group, whomever, even society. You'll have to be able to forgive and let it go, because ultimately, as people, we can't exact vengeance. We can't bring people to judgment the way that the Most High can, because He's perfect at that. And I've been reading right now, it's been the book of Ezekiel. I've been in that book, and it's just so shocking to me. With, you know, you see how Israel, how they're sinning, and how He's been warning them, and, you know, and Nebuchadnezzar, he's gonna come to invade them. The kings are going to be killed, all that stuff. You see that happening. But something that really surprised me the most, because there are quite a few chapters where Elohim is telling Ezekiel to set his face against a certain group or a certain city. And it's fascinating because in all of this, despite the fact that Israel is sinning and has been sinning for quite a long time, he'll still revenge himself. He'll still avenge Israel against her enemies, despite everything that was going on, despite the idolatry, despite the whorings, despite everything. The Most High, that's still the apple of his eye. And everyone, the Ammonim, the other pagan nations, heathens, he still revenges Israel, because all those heathen nations, they were boasting themselves against her, saying, oh wow, like she fell, seeing how the Israelites, they've fallen from their mighty one, and they've become now this object of mocking. They just make fun of Israel, and he still revenges Israel despite everything. He still revenges her. But yeah, it's really shocking. But if you are thinking of vengeance, if that's something that's been on your mind, pray. And I suggest reading the book of Ezekiel. You see how much the Most High loves his people. And whatsoever somebody does against you, if someone mocks you, if someone wrongs you, traumatizes you, they're going to get back whatever it is that they sent your way. They're going to get every single thing back and then some. So I hope this encouraged you today. I hope that whoever this is for, you see the message, and I hope that the Most High continues to bless you abundantly. May your walk grow deep and abundant in him, in Yahushua's name, and may Yah's will be done on your lives. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you all have a blessed and productive day. Later.